Hi, and welcome to Cloutskout. In today's economy video, we'll be looking at what is currently happening in the UK economy. The upcoming election within the next year, the class divide brought about by economic opportunities, the cost of living crisis due to inflation. More about this later. The mission, ever since the Conservative Party won the election in 2019, has been levelling up. Levelling up requires financing. As of the 6th of March 2024, Chancellor Jeremy Hunt released the spring budget which aims to address this upcoming election. Since the Conservatives won the majority in 2019, Labour, their main opposition, has been consistently preferred over them. In the wake of the pandemic and post-pandemic management of political affairs, both parties receive criticism, but the Conservatives seem to receive a lot more. According to the Office of National Statistics, the British public has lost confidence in the UK government, placing it sixth in levels of trust in public institutions. The budget is a response to the Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, financial outlook for the UK for the year. The Office for Budget Responsibility gives independent and authoritative analysis of the UK's public finances, are a public body sponsored by HM Treasury. The Chancellor of the Exchequer is required to address this once a year, which is done through the Spring Budget Statement. How does the Spring Budget affect the economy? The Spring Budget is a statement made by the Chancellor to MPs in the House of Commons presenting the government's plans for the economy, including changes to taxation and spending. They address how these affect households, businesses, and economic activity. What was announced in the Spring Budget 2024? National insurance. There will be a 2% cut in mandatory national insurance contributions effective April 2024, classes 1 and 4. Class 1 primarily involves employer contributions 10% to 8%, and Class 4 being self-employed contributions 8% to 6%, approx £10 billion worth of cuts to the workforce. The High Income Child Benefit Charge, HICBC. The cap of the High Income Child Benefit Charge will be raised from £50,000 to £60,000 from April 2024. Full child benefits will be halved so that child benefit is not withdrawn in full until individuals earn £80,000 or more. The taxation of non-domiciles. People whose permanent home domicile is outside the UK may not have to pay UK tax on foreign income, which will be abolished. Effective from April 2025, a new residence-based regime where all UK residents who stay in the UK for over 4 years will pay the same tax on their foreign income and gains regardless of their domicile status. Capital gains tax. The higher rate of capital gains tax for residential property disposals will be cut from 28% to 24% from April 2024. Stamp duty land tax. The government will abolish multiple dwellings relief effective from 1st June 2024. Furnished holiday lettings. The government will abolish a tax advantage for landlords who let short-term furnished holiday properties over those who let residential properties to longer-term tenants, effective from 6 April 2025. Fuel duty. This will be frozen for another year by extending the temporary 5p cut, currently 52.95 pence per litre. It has been frozen since 2011 to 12, and it reflects a temporary 5 pence cut in 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024. Alcohol duty will be frozen effective from 1st August 2024 till 1st February 2025. Tobacco and vaping duties. A new duty on vaping products will be introduced from October 2026. Tobacco duty will also be increased from October 2026. To maintain the current financial incentive to choose vaping over smoking. Air passenger duty. Rates for premium economy class passengers, business and first class passengers, and private jet passengers will be increased. VAT threshold. The VAT threshold will be increased from £85,000 to £90,000, effective April 2024. Energy Profits Levy, a levy introduced in May 2022 in response to the rise in oil and gas company profits, will be extended by a year to 2028 to 2029. Currently, a temporary 25% levy on ring-fence profits of oil and gas companies, Household Support Fund, allows local authorities in England to make discretionary payments to people most in need to help towards the rising cost of food, energy, and water bills. Extended by 6 months to September 2024, it was due to end in March 2024. The UK economy's challenges. Number 1. Class divide. 5 main groups in the British class system. Lower class is a controversial term to describe the long-term unemployed, homeless, etc. Working class. Basic, low-level, unskilled or semi-skilled workers such as those with no university or college education. This includes occupations such as factory workers and labourers. Middle class. The vast majority of British people fall into this category, such as shop owners, white-collar professionals, literally those who wear a white collar like businessmen and office workers, teachers, journalists, nurses, and the list goes on. Upper class. Those who have the highest place in society, considered the wealthiest, above the working and middle class in the social hierarchy. Aristocrats, the royal family and those with titles such as lords or barons fall into this group. The class system seems to be active in the UK, but in today's society it doesn't have the same status as it once did. Working class people can become middle and upper class by gaining a good education and going into a profession. However, the class system is here to stay. As George Orwell said, Britain is the most class-ridden society under the sun. According to a YouGov study ranging from 4,723 UK adults to 5,520 UK adults between March 2017 and February 2021, 79% of UK adults believe there is a large gap between social classes in Britain, continuing a small upward trend from 2018 and 2019, 75% and 77% respectively. We are now at the same level we were in 2017. People are most likely to say that their background has had no advantages or disadvantages in terms of impacting their career and education. However, a third say that their background has given them advantages with their education, which is slightly down from 2019's figure of 35%. More people than ever say it's becoming easier for the less advantaged sectors to move up in society. 23% agreed with this in 2021 compared with 18% in 2017. However, 2/5 think it's getting harder. Harder has dropped from 44% in March 2017 to 39% in February 2021, which is positive but shows that over half the participants thought it was harder or the same level of difficulty to move up in British society from a less advantaged background. Cost of living crisis. A period of time in which the cost of everyday essentials like food and bills increased quicker than the average household income. According to the Office of National Statistics, the cost of living crisis was the most important of issues facing the UK, with 63% in 2023. Inflation. In a letter from 21st of March 2024, the Governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, wrote, CPI inflation was expected to fall temporarily to the 2% target in the second quarter of 2024. It was then expected to increase slightly again over the second half of the year, accounted for by the direct energy price contribution to 12-month inflation. In the near term, energy prices are expected to continue to contribute negatively to the annual Consumer Price Index inflation rate. Household energy bills will fall as Ofgem's price cap will be reduced by 12% in April. And the government's recent announcement of a freeze in fuel duty and cancellation of this year's Retail Price Index linked increase is expected to provide a further marginal reduction in inflation from the second quarter of the year, relative to expectations in the February report. Food price inflation is expected to continue to fall as producer input costs are projected to be broadly flat or falling over the forecast period. Core goods price inflation is similarly expected to decline as changes in prices are expected to follow the moderation in producer price inflation. Services price inflation is expected to fall back gradually over the course of 2024, albeit more slowly than the other components of CPI.
Inflationary pressures from service sector firms are moderating owing to lower non-labor input costs. Moderation in wage growth will also ease these pressures. Looking further ahead, the restrictive stance of the monetary policy is expected to reduce further domestic inflationary pressures and return inflation to the 2% target gradually. In the MPC's latest February report projection, condition on the market interest rates prevailing at that time, CPI inflation was projected to be 2.3% in 2 years' time and 1.9% in 3 years. Compared with previous reports, the committee judged that the risks from domestic price and wage pressures were more evenly balanced. Further opinion. Although the announcements point to signs of progress, minimal changes were applied. The British economy still needs a lot of work to halve inflation, according to their first of 5 priorities. Today's forecast from the OBR show it falling below the 2% target in just a few months' time. The battle is not only with the 2% inflation target, but also where the government cuts back on spending, which can be where it is needed most, or where they choose to add taxation and duty rates. This is a very small victory with the greater scope of returning the economy to stability. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Cloutskout content.